Welcome back to Capitol Tonight, a special hour edition tonight. We're talking about education, and joining us now is U.S. Representative Lloyd Doggett. Congressman, welcome.
Great to join you, Paul.
Well, let's first talk about the education funds that we referred to during Commissioner Scott's interview just a moment ago. $830 million in federal money that we're talking about in limbo, and I know you were successful in attaching an amendment that you say would make sure those dollars would be only spent for education. Why single out Texas? Why shouldn't other states face the same requirement?
Texas is the only state in the country that got off with $3.25 billion, billion with a B, a significant amount of money that should have been channeled to public education, but was instead poured into the black hole that is the state budget deficit. This is not a battle about my future or Governor Perry's future. It's about the future of thousands of Texas school children, and I'm greatly concerned. You asked the Commissioner also whether parents should be concerned. I think they should be extremely concerned. The great public schools that we have here in Central Texas are about to go in reverse. If this effort to decimate public education is successful, my amendment is just one small way to try to give a little edge to our school districts and see they're not penalized for taking federal aid to education.
Now, Commissioner Scott seemed that he was hopeful that the money eventually would be freed up. I asked if there would be maybe some compromise or middle ground there, and he's hopeful that that's the case. How do you see it? Do you think that that money can end up in Texas? Is it too late?
I've got the 3-page application with me. All we need is Rick Perry signed on that application. The Education Department in Washington has already been told that Texas plans to submit a proper application. They have from now until at least the end of September to do that. That is the only reason we don't have the money now. There's been no singling out or extra condition on Texas other than to ensure that this federal aid to education actually goes to our school children. Why have federal aid to education if it's just going to be used to fill a state budget gap? We want it to make a difference in our schools. And I can tell you from talking to teachers, from visiting with the several schools that have been marked for potential closure here in Austin, with the prospect in the Austin district of maybe as many as 1,200 positions being terminated, so many of our school personnel are not focused on how to improve the quality of public education. They're concerned about survival. We need schools that are competitive with the Chinese, with the Germans, with the rest of the world, and instead we're seeing a retreat from the traditional bipartisan commitment of Texas to public education.